Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia never fired a gun. She never led a convoy. She never served jail time, and she never appeared in a single cartel photo. And yet the Mexican government calls her one of the most powerful figures in organized crime the country has ever produced. They call her La Jefa, the boss, the wife of the recently killed El Mencho. But that title does not cover what she actually did at all. While the world was watching her husband run from military helicopters and sleep in mountain hideouts, Rosalinda was living a completely different kind of narco life. 70 front businesses, $50 million moved in a single year. Luxury properties, restaurant chains, real estate empires, all clean on paper, all funded by one of the most violent criminal organizations on the planet. This is the lifestyle nobody talks about. Not the guns, not the convoys or the gold-plated weapons. Rosalinda's lifestyle was smart, sophisticated, and built on balance sheets and boardrooms. Designed to look completely legitimate from the outside, while billions moved through it underneath. And here is what makes her story unlike anything you have seen before. El Mencho is dead. His son is in a US prison for life. His son-in-law is serving nearly 12 years, but Rosalinda, the woman who ran the cartel behind the screens, has never been convicted in the United States. Not once. And the deeper you go into how she lives, the clearer it becomes why that has nothing to do with luck. Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia did not marry into power. She was born into it. And to understand the lifestyle she built, you have to understand exactly what that means. The Gonzalez Valencia family were not street criminals. They were architects. Her brother, Abigail Gonzalez Valencia, known as El Queenie, was a financial genius who understood international banking, shell companies, and money laundering on a level most criminal organizations never reach. The family had accounts in Switzerland and the Cayman Islands. They owned legitimate businesses across multiple countries. And when Rosalinda married Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes in 1996, it was not just a wedding. It was a merger. El Mencho brought the violence and the trafficking infrastructure. The Gonzalez Valencia family brought the money machine. Together they built CJNG into a $50 billion empire. And Rosalinda was the one holding the finances together from the inside. Her role was not symbolic. She personally managed over 70 businesses used to clean cartel money, including healthcare companies, tourism operations, hospitality chains, retail businesses, agricultural operations, and real estate firms. All of them were fully functioning, paying taxes, employing staff, and serving real customers. And all of them quietly absorbed drug money and returned it as clean income. Between 2015 and 2016 alone, investigators tracked over $50 million flowing through businesses under her control. $50 million in a single year, through companies that looked completely legal from the outside. And that was just what they could trace. Now picture what that lifestyle actually looked like, day to day. This is where Rosalinda's story separates itself from every narco story you have ever heard. She was not sleeping on cots in remote ranches while military helicopters swept overhead. While El Mencho chose isolation and sacrifice, Rosalinda moved through the legitimate world like she belonged there. Because on paper, she did. Her world was sushi restaurants in Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, fully staffed, fully operational, serving real customers every single day. Luxury rental cabins on the Pacific Coast, the kind of properties that showed up in travel magazines. Real estate companies helping regular families buy homes. Construction firms building neighborhoods. Agricultural businesses exporting produce. All of it legal, all of it clean, all of it hers. This was the narco lifestyle nobody puts in a documentary. No gold chains, no tiger in the backyard, no convoy of armored trucks rolling through the city, just a businesswoman managing a portfolio of companies that happened to be the financial engine of one of the most violent cartels on the planet. The people working in those restaurants, those real estate offices, those construction companies, they had no idea. They were just going to work, collecting a paycheck, living their lives. That is how deep this operation ran. And that sophistication is exactly what made what happened next so devastating. November 15th, 2021. Mexican authorities arrested Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia on money laundering charges. And just like that, the most important financial brain in the entire CJNG operation was in government custody. The arrest was not random. Investigators had been building a case for years, tracking the money flows, mapping the businesses, and following the paper trails that led back to her. When they finally moved, they moved hard. The woman who had kept billions clean for over a decade was now sitting in a federal detention cell. But here is what the government did not anticipate. Within hours of her arrest, her daughter Leisha and son-in-law El Gaucho put together a plan so desperate and so violent that it shocked even seasoned investigators. They kidnapped 2 Mexican Navy members in broad daylight in a Walmart parking lot, trading military personnel for the release of her mother. The plan failed. The Mexican government does not negotiate. The sailors were eventually recovered. Rosalinda stayed in custody, and Leisha became a wanted fugitive overnight. But think about what that moment revealed. A 20-year-old girl went to war with the Mexican military for her mother. That does not happen because of fear. That happens because of loyalty that runs deeper than anything law enforcement is trained to handle. When Rosalinda finally walked out of custody, she did not walk back into a smaller life. El Mencho died in February 2026. When he did, the cartel erupted. 250 highway blockades sprang up across 20 Mexican states. Vehicles were set on fire. 25 National Guard members were killed in retaliation. It was the most violent succession response Mexico had ever seen. Through all of it, Rosalinda was there. Not hiding, not running. She stood beside a gold-plated coffin, surrounded by 1,000 white roses, at a funeral that cost close to $1 million. A funeral she negotiated directly with government officials. She threatened them, and she applied pressure through back channels. It worked. They handed her husband's body over. That is not the behavior of a woman who lost her power when her husband fell. That is the behavior of a woman who never needed him to have it. Today, Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia has never been convicted in the United States. The money laundering case in Mexico has not produced a final verdict. Her family network, the Gonzalez Valencia financial infrastructure, the same machine that was processing billions before El Mencho was even a name anyone knew, is still standing. Multiple brothers have been arrested over the years, some extradited, some released. And still the structure survives, because it was never built around any single person. That was always the point. El Mencho built an empire on violence. Rosalinda built one on invisibility, and when the violence died with him, the invisibility remained. That is the narco lifestyle nobody warns you about, not the one that ends in a gold-plated coffin, the one that keeps going long after the flowers have wilted and the cameras have left.